What's up? 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 Hello. Welcome to Losers, a friendship podcast. Today, I'm joined by Big Country, Mr. Emilio. How's it going, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? How you been?
Great, living life.
All right. I feel you. It really hurt me to bring you in as Big Country because I've always known you as Panzon.
So, here's the thing. I went by it for like 6 years. Banzone can't mean like the nicest thing sometimes, depending who's how you say it.
Yeah.
So I changed it to Big Country. I was trying to change myself, be healthier, and all that fun stuff. But it's not like I won't answer to it. I went by it for 7 years.
Yeah. After you moved, or not moved, after you left Menards, I called somebody else Panzone because I didn't really know what it meant, and he was not pleased with me. He's like, "What did you just call me?" And I was like, "I really don't know what that means."
I didn't mean it.
He's like, "It means like tubby in Spanish." I was like, "Oh, now I feel like a huge ass."
Yeah. So my other buddies, they call me Big Country because it's kind of a hillbilly.
I feel
Country music, all that fun stuff.
I feel like Big Country is not a big step up from Panzone. I don't know. Like you're still,
It was
you're
definitely
still-
a lateral move.
you're still calling you like it's like calling you big guy or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but being 6'1" is, big for a Mexican.
Yeah, I guess. Big old Mexican. Going to work where I do, I find that the word Mexican, like, it makes me feel like I'm saying a bad word, and it's not. Like that's just not a bad word, but I feel like it is every time I say it. So I have like I walk on eggshells whenever I say the word Mexican. I don't know why it's like that. I am super glad that you could be here today. We had something scheduled for a few weeks back, but I think you had to work. We had to reschedule, but I'm glad that you're here today. I thought we were going to have to reschedule again because it is absolute dog shit outside, but here we are.
Yeah, that night was definitely worse than the night. That was the night of the first storm. That's why I was working. I wasn't supposed to work, but they're like, we need people just in case people decide to crash on the 57. So, but it ended up being a peaceful night.
Yeah. I figured, well, with people, people probably shouldn't be driving when it's so incredibly bad outside.
Well, not even that, but they shouldn't be so bad at it. Like they act like they don't live in Illinois. So
Yeah, I hate it. I try to not go out whenever I don't have to. Since you were last here, for Alex's podcast, that was in early January. I think it was January 2nd. So since then, I believe you graduated, correct?
yes, I graduated the Posen Fire Academy. I am now firefighter trained, I guess you can say.
So you're like a full-on firefighter? You like fight fires now?
Yeah, true lifesaver over here. Paramedic firefighter now. I now work for Posen as well. I was working for Elite, but I'm kind of phasing them out and just kind of doing Posen right now. So
Is that far?
for me it is, but it's like so.
Well, I mean, for people that live there, it's not far. I understand that, but
Well, like I tell Alex like where places are. She's like, oh, that's not far at all, but it's because she lives close to the hundreds. Like anything south of 95th Street, I'm like, God, I have to pack a lunch too.
uh-huh.
So it's on 147th and like for easy streets like Kedzie. So it's kind of far.
That's beyond me, but that's fine. As a firefighter, I can ask you a few questions because
As a brand new firefighter, so
yeah, well, I'm not going to ask you like grizzled vet questions or anything, but it's really hard to get Henry's room to a good temperature, so we just bought like a it's not a space heater, but it's like a little fan heater thing. And usually those like cause big fires, right?
yeah, totally plausible of causing a fire and
Like in the wintertime,
What
when
things
you see
are made
most
of today.
fires, that's what it is space
space
heaters,
heaters.
right?
Yeah, are people doing bad things they shouldn't be doing,
Like what?
like drugs?
Ah,
Yeah,
blowing up their meth labs and shit. I never even thought of that.
yeah.
Mr. Innocence over here. Goodness. So, we've exhausted your job. Are you still paramedicing?
Yes, so that's my role, the firefighter paramedic. But as of right now, I do mostly paramedic stuff. Well, being the new guy, I kind of have the best of it. I go to everything. So I do EMS runs. I'm doing EMS runs with them. Like I had fire alarm, had a fire in Harvey the other day. We didn't do absolutely nothing. I just got to smell like smoke. Um, so I kind of get to do it all. As you get a little more seniority, like being a medic, I'll get held back for certain things because you like just manpower alone. Um, you need someone there to man the station, or something comes through, so they go and initiate care, and then wait for someone else to come, like the neighboring town. So like Midlothian's right there. So like if I ever get stuck by myself, Midlo is like my first people to call, and then it's just I have like a list. They were
Yeah.
breaking it down for me.
So you're never going to be the guy like holding the big hose, spraying the fire?
Oh yeah, I have like it's totally plausible, but it just depends on manpower. And it's a little farther down the line. Like I've only worked a handful of shifts there, so I go to everything as of right now.
How does the training work for that? Do they send you into on fire ass buildings and not buildings?
They
but,
for
like,
us they use the shipping containers.
Yeah, but they
And
like light them on fire and send your ass in there.
they have steel closet looking things, and they light those up, and it fills up the place, and then they'll have like barrel fires going through there. Definitely gets the heat going, and you definitely get to see some fire. Apparently they burn a lot more than the average academy does, so it was pretty cool.
Terrifying, no?
No, I mean
No?
not I enjoy it. It's fun.
You're a rare breed, I guess. That would be
So
terrifying.
they say, everybody else runs out, well, we're the fools running in.
Yeah. No offense, but you kind of strike me as a Kevin James and and Chuck and Larry. The big funny guy is the fucking firefighter.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's fun. Being a candidate is cool, I guess. It's like the only time I sit down is to eat. So, every house duty is my duty.
How does the fire truck work? Do you like ride on the outside? Are you one of the outside guys, or do you
No,
get to sit on the inside?
We get to sit on the inside. We don't have one of those big cool apparatuses that like someone drives the back like they do in like New York.
Oh, I don't know. I just know that sometimes you see people like hanging off the sides and shit.
Strictly a movie thing.
Oh,
as far as my knowledge goes.
Lame.
You're telling me.
Lame.
I think that's an OSHA thing.
Yeah, I feel like there's no seatbelt hanging off the side of a fire truck, but I don't know. I couldn't find any fire stations closer that needed help or anything.
Well, I mean, I went to their academy, and you kind of gather like a what's the word I'm looking for?
Like
Big words.
Like a rapport or something?
Yeah. So, and everybody needs medics. So I was like, hey guys, I'm a medic. I enjoyed your academy. Like, I hear this is the place to be if you're new to the fire service to get experience. They're traditional firehouse, all about the tradition and the culture, and they get to see some decent fires from my understanding. They butt up with Harvey. So Harvey gets some decent fires, so they're part of their still and all that.
It's weird that places get decent fires.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, this place burns up all the time. Like you hear of like bad neighborhoods for like cops. Like you don't want to get put in that neighborhood because it's a bad neighborhood. But you never hear of like firefighters going, yeah, that place is on fire constantly.
Yeah, everything burns.
Do you guys have like a softball team? You play against the
I have absolutely no idea. I'm a little too new for all that.
Well, you got to get in on that, man.
You're right. I'm good old 16-inch.
Yeah, you got to like you could be a slugger out there. I can just imagine it. Sticking it to the police.
Yeah, right. I should ask about that.
That would be the first thing I'd ask. Every time I start a new job, I go, "Do you guys have a basketball team? I can play. I can play center. I'm not very tall, but I'm big as hell. And I can play post defense. That's my thing." I remember when we were at Menards, I used to talk about like getting all the what's the word I'm looking for? All the departments together and having like a basketball tournament. And at the time, Paint had two guys that were like 6'6", 6'7".
I remember.
And they were going to dominate. But All I knew is that we were going to beat electrical. It was pretty funny. But Menards was terrible, and we never had any fun. So
Oh yeah, no fun or happiness allowed there.
I met you at Menards. I've had my job there was, like
Being the new guy trainer.
I was the bitch, and then every time a new person would start, they'd go with Louie. And so you and Juan started at the same time,
Juan.
and they stuck you both with me, and I just walked you guys around. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but I do remember like just giving you the ins and outs of what goes on in a regular day and what these guests would ask. And I remember asking both of you, I said, "Where is the bathroom?" And Juan had no idea. And you were like, "Oh, there's one upstairs, right up there. And the other one's in front of register 4. I said, "How do you even know that?" "Oh, I come here all the time." And
Yeah, my dad is like a huge Menards guy.
And you know I know where the bathroom is.
Yeah. So growing up, we were always there. Like when it was built, we when it was like the grand opening. And then just going there, I knew where a bunch of stuff was. So one day, my parents were like, "When are you going to get a job?" I'm like, "I might just get one here." Like, we know it.
Yeah.
I like the stuff that it sells.
Yeah, it's not about selling stuff. It's about putting up with the people that were in charge, I think. How long did you work at Menards?
You know what? I was thinking about that the other day because I was filling out an application for another department. And I honestly don't remember. I started like August, like the first or second week in August of 2014. And then I remember I got fired in like the summertime. So it might have been like the end of July. So almost a year, like 10 or 11 months.
Nice. I remember you started with that guy Juan, and I was so excited because I was the biggest person in the department, and then you started, and then I had somebody that was just as big as I was. And so I didn't have to just lift everything by myself. And I was like, "Here, throw this up top there." And you're like, "There's no fucking way I can do that." And then you tried, and there was no fucking way you could do that.
Yeah, and then you just like come, you're like, "Oh, I got it." And you just throw it on your head. Oh, I remember I'm like, in 10 years, his C's are going to be all messed up. Your C-spine.
Yeah.
Just all the compression. You put snow blowers and lawn mowers on your fucking head.
Snow blowers, lawn mowers, fire pits, pressure washers, and the heaviest are generators.
Yes.
Now they use the Big Joe, the fucking order lifter.
I'll never forget my first day. Speaking of first days, like we were stocking shit on the very, very top of the aisles. And me, if I think hard enough, I sweat. I had a bandana with me and I was like sweating profusely. And I just remember you're like, "Oh, Emilio, are you going to be okay?" Like, I was like, yes, I just sweat super, super easily.
I just remember you wore your steel toe boots, which were not required. And you had a bandana hanging out of your back pocket and your little can of extra stiff, what is it? Extra
stiff cock grease, my pomade.
That's what it was for your hair.
The steel boots, that was just a lifestyle. I've been a boot wearer all my life, really. I think I own, well, now that I'm a little bit older, I own 3 pairs of gym shoes. I have a pair of Vans that I skate in. Then I have like a pair of running shoes. And then I have another pair of like running shoes that I keep at the firehouse now. Otherwise than that, just strictly boots, like work boots, cowboy boots, chukka boots.
Yeah.
So that was the lifestyle beforehand.
Wow.
And then the bandana was there because I sweat like no other.
Yeah.
And the stiff cock grease was for the ladies.
Yeah, for your
keep the hair nice and slick back.
For your nice hair. Speaking of ladies, you met your current lady at said Menards.
Yeah, well, like Elaine, the really only lady. Never had much of a relationship before her. She was the first like serious relationship, and then we never stopped seeing each other.
I have no idea what that's like, and by that I mean I know exactly what that's like. I just remember us all being friends, and I knew Alex liked you.
Thanks for filling me in because I didn't know that.
I would hang out with Alex all the time, but Alex and I were friends outside of Menards. We would hang out not at work. And you and I, we would just hang out at work.
That's all we would do is at work. Is like, I'm just going to go do what Louis doing.
And the thing with Menards was I was always there. And if I was off, the people I wanted to hang out with were there.
Working, yeah.
So
no, it's so true, so true.
It was so impossible to have like friends when you work there. I've had conversations with plenty of people about this. And then you think that you're friends with people, and then you quit working at Menards or you get fired, and you never talk to these people ever again.
Yeah.
We were friends, Alex and I, and you were my friend there too. And I lost my train of thought. She liked you.
Yeah, thanks for filling me in on that.
I swear I had to have.
No, because I had no idea. I'm just oblivious. I'm nice to everybody. That's what Eric used to say too. He's like, "Ooh, I'm just gonna call you smooth because you're smooth with all these ladies." I'm like, I'm literally just being nice.
And then we hung out a few times, and then we went to El Faro that night, and there was like 10 of us.
Yeah, there was a boatload of us. We filled up that whole back table. Were we
Yeah.
playing pool too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got off Menards all at the same time. Like, we closed all together. We all just went over to El Faro.
I think a bunch of people meet us up too, because I think Richard was there, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't remember, to be honest, but it's possible. I
Maybe
remember.
I'm thinking when we went bowling, because I know we went bowling a couple times too.
Yeah. He was definitely bowling. He liked that shit. But we went to El Faro, and I think I'm going to say the wrong thing. I know I am. Didn't she ask you out by your car?
No. We went home, or she came to my house. And then she pulled that whole, "Oh, what are we?" I was trying to be all smooth, like, "Well, girl, you know how it goes." Pulling out my smooth daddy voice. And then, but at the time, like, all seriousness, I was in an EMT school, which at the time was, for me, the hardest thing I've ever done. And then looking back at it, I laugh. So I'm like, oh, I'm like super dedicated to schooling, and I'm just working to make like gas money. Like,
see, I remember talking to you about, it might not have been about Alex, I don't remember, but talking to you about somebody liking you, and you, I'm just focusing on school and my shit right now. So I must have told you that she liked you, or you must have known.
Maybe that was later.
Maybe it was later. Who knows?
But it took me forever to realize that, hey, this girl might just like me.
Yeah, and she fucking did too. And speaking, you said you guys went to your house. And one thing I do have to talk about while you're here is, do you remember you locked your keys in your car?
Oh, I'm the king of that, so no, I probably won't remember.
We were working, you locked your keys in your car. It had to be winter because it wasn't a motorcycle.
Well, I mean, even then, I was riding year-round.
Yeah, you locked your keys in your car, and nobody would take you home. So I had to take you home, and I drove you all. Now I know that it's not terribly far, but at the time I had never gone that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I was going way out of my way to get you home, and I feel like that's one of the first times we like got to be friends. We were driving down, I think that was First Avenue, and I was just like, I've never gone this way before. And you're like, yeah, it's not that far.
It's a whole new world.
So I had to take you all the way home, then go all the way back to Menards, and then drive home from there. But that was like a little funny thing. And then I've visited your house a few times with Alex, just like going in the alleyways and stuff.
Yeah.
Hanging out with your mom. She's always been very nice to me.
Yeah, she's generally a nice person to other people.
I mean,
no, my mom's a nice
man.
lady.
You're good. Oh. So you brought your pad. You've been writing stuff down. You trying to call me out on my own podcast.
No, I just...
What do you got?
Nothing, like...
All I know is you said something before we started, and I'm going to say it right now. Possums are gross.
Yeah, I was listening to the last podcast with the guys, and possums are the devil. They look like the devil himself.
Okay.
Possums are...
I thought you were going to possums are the best. No, they're gross.
Yeah.
And these guys are like, well, they're essential for such and
Yeah, the
No,
ecosystem.
no. Gross.
Nah,
They're
no.
gross. Get them away
They
from
look
me.
like the fucking devil. They're mean. And yeah.
They're ugly. They're fucking smelly. Oh,
No,
God.
but I brought the notepad because, like, just in case we lose train of thought or if I think of something and I want to come back to it. But, like, we've already covered all of it, really. I wrote down what I do, big guy strength, bowling, Alfaros. That's it.
Yeah. Are you a good bowler? I don't even
No,
remember.
I'm garbage. I'm trash. Alex is the good bowler.
Yeah, you throw like a straight ass ball, right?
Yeah, I like do this little flick of the wrist, like,
Yeah.
and it just goes straight down the middle.
Yeah, I do remember Alex being pretty good. Jordan gave me his bowling ball. I don't know if I had mentioned this before. I asked Jordan for his bowling ball.
Uh-huh.
I said I'd buy it from him when he moved. So he brought it to me, and that motherfucker had a crack all the way around to the fucking core, all the way around. He goes, I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, that's a damn shame. That was like a $350 ball. Smelled like root beer. It was gorgeous.
That's. Do you still have it? I would have just kept it off the fact that it smelled like root beer.
I do. It's in the garage.
Yes.
I did like the fact that it smelled like root beer. That's why I kept it. Put a layer of duct tape on it. Call it a day.
Bondo. Put some Bondo in it.
Yeah, I'll probably just get rid of it eventually. But you are a motorcycle guy.
Yes, enthusiast.
I don't know for sure, and I don't want to get yelled at, but I think you got Alex a lot more into motorcycles than she was.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was into them. I don't want her to be like, oh, fuck you. I'm sure she was into them.
So she says, allegedly.
But
let's
I'm,
just put it
I'm
there.
sure when you guys started dating, she got more into them.
Allegedly, she was into it, and I was like the big push, or like the straw that broke that camel's back, and she's like, I love motorcycles.
What kind of, like, I don't know shit about motorcycles.
So actually, like, I like motorcycles a lot, so much that I had a motorcycle before I had a vehicle, like any other vehicle.
We fucking went hard on this popcorn.
Yeah, we did. I'm a sucker for popcorn.
So, like, what kind of motorcycle do you drive now?
So I have the
Ride
same
now.
bike as Alex's, but it's 2 years older. It's the VTX 1300. I got like 14-inch ape hangers on it, or mini apes, I guess they might be classified as still. But I have 2-inch risers on them, so technically 6-inch. But I know this is all like Cantonese to you.
Hey, do your thing, man.
So, but I started off like with a 750 Shadow. But my dad was a big Honda guy, so I enjoy Hondas. Harleys are beautiful; they're nice. But when I make adult money one day, I might buy myself a Harley because they're just so expensive.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I graduated the last week of May in 2014, and then June 1st, I bought the 750. And I didn't have any other vehicle until, I mean, technically, even during when I was working at Menards, I didn't technically own any of those vehicles I drove.
Yeah, I think that was.
I was like just using my mom's car, using my dad's truck. Ultimately, my dad did give me the truck, the F-150. That's my other baby. Miss it dearly. But I drove the 750 up until, Jesus, it's been like coming on, this riding season will be 2 years. And then I finally got the VTX, which was like my dream bike. It's like the perfect bike for me, or what I like to think it is. So it's not too big. It's not like a big bagger, but it's not like a small, like the 750. Because for me, it was like 750 was just enough. I called it the little 750 that could.
Okay.
Because I was a giant. So I was like a bear on a tricycle. And then I would take it everywhere. And that thing never gave up. I mean, I went to Milwaukee on like bald tires with like the mesh showing. I went to, where did I go with a fuel leak? I was leaking fuel one big trip. It was just, like I said, the little 750 that could. It never wanted to die, never did die. And then finally, I saved up enough money. I was like, it's time to size up. And actually, I still have that 750. I just fixed it all up, all the little problems it had, and I gave it to my father.
Nice.
So that's his bike now.
Rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
What's the farthest? Well, first, before I get into it, you had said something happened to your F-150, you miss it, or I think
Yeah,
that's
so I
what you
sold
said.
it. It was like it was a solid engine. Never had a problem starting. Like in that polar vortex, like those first few that we had way all those years ago, like started up just fine, but it was literally just falling apart. Like by the time I sold it, the tailgate would just drop like randomly. If I made a hard right turn, my driver's door would just swing right open. I wouldn't put any weight on the floorboards to get in the truck because I knew they're just gonna like, rip off.
Wow.
So it was like literally just fine, but it still started up fine. I think my dad bought it brand new in like '98 with like no miles on it, and I sold it with 260,000 miles on it.
Holy
So
shit.
we
What'd you sell it for? Like a can of Coke and a...
pretty much like 2 cases of Coke and a goat.
I was
Like
going to say, even a goat seems 260,000 miles. Oh, I'll give you a case of beer and a Portillo's chocolate cake or
yeah,
some
for
shit.
real. It wasn't much. Just put it there, and then I had bought an F-250. It was a stick shift, like my dream truck, and then the engine blew on me, which is pretty sad.
So, what's the furthest you've ever gone on
On
your
the bike?
motorcycle? And I'm not saying it had to be like one straight trip. Like for example, the farthest I've ever driven was South Carolina. I went to Myrtle Beach,
Mm-hmm.
but we stopped in Tennessee for the night, and then I drove the rest of the way. So, like, what's the furthest you've ever gone on your bike
We did.
total?
I'm trying to think because I ride it a lot in general. So I think Arkansas
Yeah.
would be the farthest place. We went to Harrison, Arkansas. That was like, well, we got lost on the way there. So I think it was 14 hours, 13 hours
Holy
total on the bike.
shit.
Yeah, I tapped out like the last 80, 90 miles because we were like all the preparation, all the excitement. My first big trip. I didn't go to bed until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I had to be at the gas station like at sunrise. So it's in the middle of summer. So whenever the sun rises in summer, like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I got like no sleep, riding in the hot sun. I remember when we were going through Missouri, it was like 106 in the shade, and then you're doing like 80 miles an hour. It's like being in a convection oven. It's just all this heat.
Yeah.
So it wasn't great. So by the time that last leg, like that last 80 miles, we bring trailers just in case something happens. I was like, I'm tapping out. Like I'm done. I'm literally falling asleep while riding. Which is also my fault too. I got too comfortable. Like I had my legs up. I was like leaning all back, all crazy,
Yeah.
because I was leaning on my luggage, and I just started swerving everywhere. And I was like, oh god, I'm falling asleep.
So you just got in somebody's trailer and
Yeah, I loaded
knocked
the bike at
fuck
the last
out?
gas station, and I was like, I'm done. And then I didn't even sleep in the truck, like because everybody was talking in the truck. The people that were driving the truck and the radio's on and all that. I was like, fuck, I could have just been riding like this last little leg. So I think before I tapped out, it was like 400 miles.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's a long drive, man.
Yeah, my
Well,
butt was numb.
that was with the association,
Yes, the guys I ride with,
right?
Latin American Motorcycle Association.
Yes. Okay, association.
Association.
Um, we'll get into that too. What were you going to Arkansas for?
It was our national rally. So the association that I ride with, is like on an international level. So they have a national rally for the U.S. and like it's not just strictly national states or all the chapters are in the states. Mexico comes up, Colombia comes up 1 year, Uruguay came up. I think it's like you say that Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Yeah, they one of their guys rode up for our national. So like it's in motor touring. Like we basically mastered the sport of motor touring.
Wow.
So the more miles, the merrier. So it's not uncommon to hear people doing, like, what is it, 3,000 miles one way on a bike.
That is, wow.
Yeah, like our founder
That's dedication.
rides from Chicago to the southern point of South America. So however many million miles that is.
Like, still does it?
Yeah, he did it twice. I think the last time, don't quote me, but like 2 years ago, I think it was when he last did it, and then he did it 2 years before that.
That's insane. I don't know how, like, I've never ridden a motorcycle. I don't know the rules, but like, I feel like you need something to listen to.
So yeah, I rode a lot, and I always felt like I was missing something. And then I got like this master stereo system. Like I had 4 speakers on my handlebars, looking all bougie.
Yeah,
but,
you can't like put in earbuds, right?
you
Like you're not
can,
supposed to.
yeah. And then once I got the speaker system, like that completed it because like, well, generally speaking, my life has always been like music.
Yeah.
Like I've always listened to different kind of music ever since I was a baby. Like music is everything, really.
Mm-hmm.
So just adding that soundtrack to while you're riding, oh, there ain't nothing like it.
Yeah. I would get like so bored when
I'm not to get all, and I'm not one to ever get like soft like this, but you definitely you find yourself singing like before I had the speakers. Find yourself singing to yourself. You find yourself doing a lot of thinking. If you're on the religious side, you find yourself praying. I mean, one time when I was riding, where the hell was I riding to? It was like my first big trip. I was like 18, and it was only like 3 hours. I was doing there and back, so it was like 6. And like I found myself almost in tears. I was like, "Oh man, what am I doing?" Like just what you think about what you find yourself doing in your head. It's pretty wild.
yeah, the way that you're describing that sounds like when I'm driving around on my forklift at work. Like we're not allowed to have our shit on at while you're driving, so it's mostly just me thinking about I should start a podcast. I should do this. I should do that. So I kind of understand what you're saying. Like obviously you're on a much bigger scale, but like I feel like the day would just go by faster if I could throw in my earbuds and just listen to music or whatever on my forklift.
Yeah, like the music definitely made it. I had music going to Arkansas, and it was just a blast. I'm over there just singing to myself, and it definitely makes time go by faster.
You know, I'm old as shit now, and I know that because music just doesn't do it for me as much as it used to. Like when I was in high school, that was oh, excuse me. When I was in high school, that was like my thing was I was the music guy. I always had my headphones and blah blah blah.
No, yeah, me too. I would literally walk around the school with like no headphones, just music playing from a speaker.
Yeah.
So
But now I'm like I listen to like I don't know how to say this without sounding illegal. Like I'll turn on like a YouTube video of talking about something dumb like sports or I watch binging with Babish a lot, so he'll just be cooking and I'm not watching the video while I drive, but I just throw it into the passenger seat, have it hooked up to the thing and then I'm just listening to binging with Babish making chicken noodle soup while I drive. It's like the dumbest shit. I'm just
no, I feel you because like when I drive, I'm big on podcasts in general.
yeah.
So like that's why I find it super super cool that you're doing a podcast. I would love to do a podcast, but I just never had the balls to do it, and also like the whole conversation thing. Like I'm into so many different things. But anyway,
Oh, you
like
should do it.
but just like just listening to someone like while I'm driving, I'll listen to like I have family in West Virginia, so it's like 8 hours drive. I'll listen to 8 hours worth of podcasts.
What's your favorite podcast? I always have people that ask me for podcast recommendations, but I literally don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I have one that I really like. It's just MMA and it's on Mondays. And for people that don't like MMA, that is not the podcast for you. And I don't know what else to tell people. So, what are some podcasts that you like?
Oh man, so Alex is like just starting to get fed up with it. I listen to a lot of Your Mom's House, like their whole studio thing. So
That's
it's Tom
Tom
Segura and his
Segura
wife.
and Christina P. Right?
Yeah, and so I listen to those guys like crazy, and then I listen to like everything they do.
I love Tom Segura's stand up.
Yeah, well, I'm like that. That's another thing. Like just radio. Ever since I was a kid, like my mom would put me to sleep to like a radio. So now I listen to radio all the time, and comedy is like a huge thing I listen to. So I'm super into his comedy. Like, and then I follow like the Two Bears One Cave with him and
Yeah,
Bert
with Bert.
Kreischer,
Yeah,
and
hilarious.
then like the Joe Rogan Experience, big on that. And then Yours Now is on my list. I listen to Yours a lot. Every time it comes out, I listen to it. Uh, what's another one I listen to? I listen to The Warrior Life, which is like some Native American stuff, just hitting those topics that they talk about. Can be pretty broad, but I listen to that. I'm trying to think. Ryan Sickler, he was part of like that YMH studio thing. Now he has like his own YouTube channel, and it's called the Honeydew Podcast, which I really really enjoy because it's like he just takes famous people and he talks about like their life, like so.
So if you were to start your own podcast, what would it be about?
I have absolutely no idea because I'm into so many different things. I'm into music, I'm into bikes, I'm into trucks, I'm into
So
what I do for a living, being a paramedic, being a firefighter. Is like I enjoy so many things in life. I don't know what the hell it would be about.
well, that's kind of my whole thing here is like I can have you on today and talk about, your firefighting and your motorcycling. And last week I had a weight loss challenge thing going, and the week before was my friend Alyssa, who's nothing like you, and like
Yeah.
so. I wanted to do a podcast where I just invite people on to talk about stuff that they want to talk about. So when you have a broad stroke of what you can talk about, it's kind of a good time or whatever. Um, Another thought, if you're interested, is I want to start doing another podcast of just Hannah and I
Mm-hmm.
talking about the shit that we like together.
Yeah, and being a parents and all that.
Well,
is-
even that, or just like once we finish a show or something, we can come on and talk about how much we liked the show or what we didn't like about the show. Or I talk a lot of shit about certain things. So, like, for example, we just finished the Cobra Kai season 3. I
Ooh.
don't know if you've ever watched Cobra Kai.
I watched like half of the first season.
Yeah, I don't know how you only watched half of it. I was addicted. But in season 3, there's this whole mini storyline going on, and the whole time I was just like, I am not here for this. Why are we? Why am I? Why is this happening? This is so dumb. And she just like laughs at me. And so if we ever did our own little podcast, we could be like, oh, we would just finish Cobra Kai, and we liked this, and we didn't like this, and I didn't like that storyline, and who asked for that, and this and that. Or have you guys ever watched Stranger Things?
Yes, I have. I don't know if Alex has. I know she watched some of it with me. I don't know if she ever finished it.
So the last season of Stranger Things, they had a lot of, oh God, I can't remember his name. The black kid.
Okay, yeah, I don't know his name either.
I can't remember. His little sister was in it a lot.
Okay,
She was hanging out with.
and you're just like, why?
She was hanging out with Joe Keery's character, the guy, and Dustin Gaten Matarazzo. Whatever, it doesn't matter. She was in it a lot, and I just kept going. Who asked for more of this guy's sister? What is happening? Why is this guy here? Like, so I just think it would be funny to have her and I just doing a dumb podcast together where I'm just constantly going, who asked for this? Why is this happening? And long walk for a short drink of water. I think if you wanted to do a podcast like that with your honey over there on the couch,
My darling girl.
that would be something interesting that you guys could do together, where you can talk about your motorcycles together, or your bands, or you guys have lots of things that you like together.
Yeah, lots of things in common. I mean, that's why I'm with her.
And I love Alex to death, but it would be like you screaming into the microphone and her just going, "Yeah, I like Tony's. They have French onion soup,
really
and I really like their soup."
And she does a lot of and she hear on the phone. It drives me insane. She says, "Yes, I'm calling for I had an appointment and I just wanted to confirm I'm like, Jesus Christ, spit it out."
And for what it's worth, the boy's name in Stranger Things is Lucas, and Joe Keery's character's name is Steve.
You know what? I did not finish the last season of Stranger Things. I'm amazing at starting things, but not finishing them.
And
I do it all the time.
Lucas's sister's name is Erica. Just in case
Anybody was wondering?
you were curious.
Luca? I'll write it down.
No, Lucas.
Lucas. Oh, you know what? I watched every season of ER, the old hospital TV show.
Yeah, with George Clooney.
Yeah, there's a doctor named Luca in there. He's a big character, so.
Yeah, I've never watched that show, but I feel like that was like my mom's favorite show when I was like 6.
Yeah, like
so,
watching it, like I just had these flashbacks of like these scenes. I was like, oh, I remember this being like 8 years old and being like, wow.
yeah.
So.
I feel like that was my mom's favorite show when I was
Oh,
a
another
kid.
one I started and I would like to pick back up is the Peaky Blinders.
Oh, the Peaky fucking Blinders. Yeah. That's another thing Hannah and I plan on talking about. Because we finished that whole series. We're waiting on more episodes, but I had read like a thing on Google about this happens and this and that, and I was just like, fuck, man, I just ruined the entire show. I was like, just scrolling through Google, and are you familiar with the MCU, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I mean, yeah, I've watched every movie.
So, like, just imagine you're halfway through the MCU. You know, you're just on like fucking Captain America, Winter Soldier, and then you're just bored scrolling through Google about nothing, and then you just see like Iron Man snaps his fingers and kills Thanos, and you're just like, no, what the fuck? So we're like halfway through Peaky Blinders, and I had Googled some shit about it because I get curious about dumb shit.
Yeah, and plus it's like it's a show you definitely have to pay attention to. Like it took me forever to figure out that they're part gypsy, I think.
They are gypsies.
Yeah,
yes.
and they're Irish, but they're living in
England.
Yeah, in England. It's
and Nottingham.
yeah.
So
I thought it was Birmingham.
it is Birmingham.
Yeah.
You're correct. Birmingham. But I was just scrolling through Google and it was like, this happens because of this and that. And I was just like, no, no. And so I was like telling Hannah, I was like, I saw the thing. I can't tell you what it said, but I saw it and now I'm really mad. And we finished the series and it's a Netflix original now. So there's not like another season floating around somewhere. So I know that that's all that there is.
Yeah.
So I'm just like pissed. I'm like, so what the fuck did I read? Because that didn't happen at the end of the damn season. Like,
Yeah, you're trying to piece it all together.
fuck.
And, I mean, I only watched the first season, and I watched that whole first season in like a day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's only like 6 episodes. They're like an hour long. So if you just have some time to just chill, you're gonna be able to watch a bunch of fucking.
Yeah, I watched. I had the coronavirus,
Oh.
so I did a lot of gaming and a lot of watching TV.
Yeah, I went on coronavirus watch after we had a game night, and one of the guys was like, "Hey, I just tested positive for COVID." I was like, "Are you serious,
fuck.
dude?" But it's whatever. So we took 3 days off of work. I had the thing shoved up my nose. That was awful. But with all of us being here, and especially Henry, there's like no sit down and watch TV and play video games. That's not a thing that you're going to do. So we just hung out.
Yeah, I bought Cold War because my buddy like pressured me into it. I was like, I'll spend the $85. Like, what? I'm not doing anything else.
I am so pathetic. I have EA UFC 4. But I don't have any time to sit down and play it and learn it and play it. So, like, when I'm making dinner, I have a guy on YouTube that I watch do the career mode. And he right now he's in a bit of a slump. He's getting his ass whooped. But I just watch this guy play career mode. And I watch him do his training and this and that and all this dumb shit. And I'm like, I don't have any time to do this for myself. So I might as well watch this guy fucking do it and pretend it's me. I'm not big on video games, but I got some for Christmas, and I haven't had any time to touch
neither
them.
was I growing up. Like, I was a total outside kid, and then my partner, and now, like, really good friend, I went to medic school with him, and then we worked together. He was my partner at Elite, and actually went to the fire academy together, too. He got me into gaming, and so now, like, I pick it up definitely more than I ever have. So.
Yeah. You have a PlayStation or an Xbox? My favorite video games have all been PlayStation exclusives. Like, I really loved the Spider-Man video game. I'm like a huge nerd, so the Spider-Man video game was fucking awesome.
For the PS3, right?
PS4.
PS4.
And then they released the Miles Morales game. And I thought it was a PS5 exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
It was not. Miles Morales, you're shaking your head.
I don't know.
Miles Morales is a Spider-Man character who is a African-American, Puerto Rican boy.
So he's Dominican.
No.
Missing.
So he also gets bit by a spider, and he becomes a Spider-Man as well. So he's got the cool fucking dope ass black suit, but he's got invisibility powers and like electricity. They call it venom
Sounds
powers,
like a ball.
and he is fucking awesome. So they did that game. Have you never seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? No.
I saw that. I've started that movie so many times, but I've started it at like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I never finished. I've done it 3 times where the first time I ever tried watching it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I don't know why I started a movie that late. The other time was like midnight, passed out like an hour into it.
I would let you borrow it, but it's on Netflix, man. You just watch it on Netflix. Miles is the main character of that movie.
Oh, okay. So I know what you're talking about.
So
the video game's on him.
Yeah. But he was also in the first Spider-Man game, and this is like a continuation of it. But it was like not a half a game, but like a 3/4 of a game. So I beat that, and now I'm just waiting for Spider-Man 2, and it's going to be a PS5 exclusive. I just know it. Like, they're not going to have it for PS4. And then I'm going to have to talk my wife into letting me buy a PS5 for one fucking game.
That's how they get you. That's it. That's the name of the game.
I don't care about any other games. I just want the one.
PS people are like at their headquarters, be like, "How are we gonna get Louis?"
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's like my shit. Is that video game? But we got way off topic.
I mean, it's whatever.
I'm trying to get you to start your own podcast. That's my thing. I think that would be fucking dope. Have a little podcast crew going here.
Oh yeah.
I talked a little bit about it with Brett. I haven't said anything like publicly, as if publicly is even a thing, but I was thinking about starting my own like podcasting universe.
Ooh, like Tom Segura and his wife.
I guess. Do they have like a universe that
they have like their own like studio?
Well, no.
It's like so she does where my mom's at the YMH studios, and then there's the your mom's house podcast, and it's the Two Bears One Cave, and then
they all do the same. They're all out of the same studio.
Yeah, and then they're producing, or one of their producing guys, and like fellow comedian, he does his show, the Josh Potter show.
Wow. And
then the Honeydew was there, and then there's Dr. Drew After Dark, which I'm a big fan of. So
Drew Pinsky.
Yeah, Dr. Drew.
So I was thinking like, I have a few different shows that I would like to try, but really it's just a time issue. But it's like I wanted to do that show with like this is my show, my Lousers.
This is your main.
But then I also wanted to do a show with Hannah, where I'm working on a title. I don't know yet. The best I got is called Hanging Loose.
That's good
because it's like Hannah and Lou hanging loose. I wanted to do the Marvel Cinematic Luniverse.
Ooh,
where we just talk about the Marvel movies, and right now WandaVision. Like,
I need to get on that.
I don't know if you've watched any of it.
Not.
The first few episodes, hot trash. I was not happy. But the last 2 episodes, oh my fucking god, I am all in. And so I had that one. And then I wanted to do one called LuFC, where we just talk about the UFC. And then I think it would be cool to have like friends that did their own shit. Then I would just put it on my little station or whatever, and just have like a little podcasting universe going
Sounds
on.
like $1 million idea. Like we can get sponsorships.
Yeah, that would be fucking dope. If I had any like money, I would. I think like I said earlier, I drive around on my forklift and just think about shit all day. I was like, I can rent out a room over at the Park District and just have my shit there. That way it's not in the basement, and I could like soundproof the room or whatever.
Right
yeah. And I could just record my podcasts there and this and that would be fucking cool. But like that would cost money, and I love doing my show, but it doesn't bring in any money at all. Like it in fact costs me lots of money. So maybe eventually I'd be able to get a little studio room or something, and we'll see. But That would be pretty dope to do like a I call it the LPU, the Losers Podcasting Universe. But I don't know. I think anybody who thinks that they should have a podcast or just
Should just do it.
anybody that wants
Do
to
it.
do something, I think they should at least try it. As far as I say, like it's better to try something and fail than not try at all. you
No,
know?
yeah, for sure. I just don't know what I do still.
Yeah. And you write down ideas and you try shit out and eventually you just get something that kind of sticks. Like I said, I was listening to the first few episodes of the podcast today. Podcast is now available on YouTube.
Ooh.
But I was listening to the first couple episodes today and they were hot trash. Like straight up dog shit.
So you're doing it on YouTube now? Like, are you Joe Rogan it? Like, we're gonna get some GoPros set up? And...
No,
No?
it's just the picture that we take
Okay.
and the audio.
Oh, okay.
I would love to do like the Joe Rogan thing and have cameras set up, but I can't do all that. I don't know how to fucking do that, and I don't have a Jamie, so I'm SOL on that one.
Maybe when Henry gets a little older, he can be your young Henry.
But I lost my train of thought. We were talking about YouTube.
Oh, my God.
I said the podcast is available on YouTube, and whatever I said before that, you're just left in the dark. I don't know. Sorry,
Yeah.
everybody.
Because I don't remember.
Nope, not a clue. But that's all right.
But that's what we're here for, just to see where the conversation takes us.
My question to you now is, we're here
Mm-hmm.
on a friendship podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
we'll come back to that. I was
We got all
listening to
day.
the first few on YouTube.
Okay, yes,
That's
yes,
what it
yes.
I was listening to them, and they were complete dog shit because I had the headphones on, and so I was. Oh man, it's just so embarrassing now that when I was listening to them because I was just like, "Hello, welcome to the Losers podcast," because I was just listening to myself talk.
Just tripping yourself out.
Yeah, and it was horrid. So, like, I feel like each episode I get a little bit better. I still say a lot. Or earlier, we were trying to figure some shit out, and we had to restart about 78 times. But we're getting there. It's a work in progress.
That's guys. I speak like a sewer cap, so I a lot. I stutter. I mumble. I was super nervous coming here tonight. I was like, oh my God, what if nobody understands me because I talk like mush mouth?
Oh, you'd be all right. Don't worry about it. We are on the Friendship Podcast, as you know. Not what? That's a dumb way to start that question.
Forever.
Who would you say is your best friend? Shout out time.
Uh-oh. I feel bad because you got to like number them, and if they hear it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I
In no specific order.
So
who is your best friend?
I'll start this off. Like I don't have a very big list of friends, so like my main best friends I would have to say the guys I kind of grew up with. So they're brothers, they're triplets. We grew up together. They moved in like I was going into the 5th grade that summer. So I've been friends with them forever and a day. We don't talk often anymore. Now we're adults and doing adult things. And then, of course, like me, like I just finished academy 2 weeks ago now. And like during that whole process, I didn't talk to anybody. Like, it was kind of me just doing that. But there are definitely those people that like I haven't talked to them in 6 months, and I'll talk to them like next week if I wanted to, and like, we won't skip a beat. So it's Louis, Anthony, and Ralphie. They're triplets, the three amigos. So it's those guys. We grew up together, and then I would have to say my friend Manny. Same thing. Like I haven't talked to him through this whole academy process, but I'm pretty sure I'll talk to him like next week, and we won't skip a beat, which is awesome. Like I love friendships like that because friends are supposed to be understanding and stuff like that. If you're doing something and definitely putting forth an effort towards it, they'll understand why we won't talk. So we've been friends since like the 8th grade. Who else? I say my newest best friend would be Anthony, another Anthony. We went to paramedic school together. We worked together, and we went through the fire academy together.
That's the guy that you were talking about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, he's a huge gamer. Another best friend of mine. And then who else? No, that's about it. Oh, I mean, you could say Alex.
Oh, Alex. Who is that?
That lady. I mean, I don't know. Is it like best friend? Like, I always say girlfriends are just like best friends that let them touch you. So.
That let them touch you,
or like let you touch them.
Ooh.
It takes two to tango.
I
But
guess. Oh, that's good.
so yeah, she actually qualifies under the best friend list.
Any fun memories with any of your friends that you can think of that you'd like to share?
God. Everything, like the guys I grew up with, the things we've done growing up. I mean, I was an adventurous kid. Anything with wheels, I messed with it. Rollerblading, biking, skateboarding. I may have been like the biggest kid doing it, but I always did it.
Yeah.
So I had another friend of ours with the triplets. He's a pretty fit dude. He's like personal training, always been athletic and stuff. And he's like, "You're okay at everything you do. Like, you're a big guy, but you're graceful, and you're not bad at new things that you try. And you're not good at it. You're just okay at them. Like ice skating, I was okay at ice skating. Like skateboarding, I was okay at it, but like I did it and I was doing it. So
you're a jack of all trades,
yeah.
master of none.
So yeah, definitely master of none.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
So, but I mean, we got in trouble together. We've done stupid things together. We used to like the triplets. We used to build ramps in front of my house and like ride our bikes off of them, and definitely messed up a lot of things. I've done face plants while riding bikes with them, and as we got older, you get old enough to drink. Got plenty of drinking stories with them, and
Ladies and gentlemen, Emilio just brought me to the side and told me that he is starting a new company where he's going to be selling face pants. So just go to Big Country Emilio
/face pants
.com /face pants and use promo code Lousers for your first 6 pairs of face pants on me.
It's like the one thing I worried about was my stammering.
Nah,
it's the one thing I'm sensitive about, Louis.
I'm just teasing, man. Face pants. I'm like, oh, okay.
So, and then like Manny, he's big in the music too. So like we've definitely shared music experiences together. Like we're both big in the Kings of Leon. Seen them together twice. He's like my music guy, and he loves music. He does sound editing now for like movies and stuff or short films. So he's definitely into like music and all that. We've had great experiences just sharing our musical likes.
Yeah.
And then Anthony, we've been through hell and back together. With
Literally?
paramedic school, yeah. We've
Going
seen
into
some
fires
things.
and shit.
Did some things. So those are something kind of hold near and dear because he knows the struggles, or we know each other's struggles, and what we deal with and what we see and what we live.
Here's a fun question that I don't ask people usually, but why not? Which of your friends is Alex's favorite?
I think none of them, but that's just like the classic, my girlfriend doesn't like any of you guys.
Yeah,
but
it's a.
But no, I definitely say her favorite around the world, like all the world, is Manny. She absolutely loves Manny.
Okay.
But I mean, she's also Alex, so she loves picking on people too. Like my friend Anthony, oh my God, she picks on him so much, but he brings it upon himself. Yeah. I pick on him too, but that's my friend.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I've never asked anybody that, but it's kind of a fun question.
Yeah, my friend Anthony, she like is her new best friend is his fiance, so they get along together.
That's good.
Amazingly.
It's good to have your friends.
Ladies getting along.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get along pretty well.
Because it doesn't work like that all the time. Before I let you go, I am going to now bring up the Motorcycle Association. I was told last time that it's not a gang. Don't call it a gang.
Yeah, no, I'm a nice person. You bet me I'm a fucking saint.
Yeah. I don't know about a saint, but you're definitely a guy. Um, how did you get into being in said association?
So I started off super young. Like, my cousins were in it, and they're my older cousins, like they're in their late 50s, like kind of cousins. And we just kind of met up one day, and it was for the Sisters chapters, like grand opening for the clubhouse. It was the fight was like at the time, Canelo wasn't even like the big fight. He was like an opening fight at the time. Um, and I was like, I'd like this. Like I was 15, about to turn 16, and there's like I've always liked things like that, like camaraderie. I grew up being a Boy Scout and Eagle Scout, so like I've always thrived for working with people and having that camaraderie with people. So like that's why I love being in the fire service because it's just one big family. Always worked well with others. Always been into that kind of stuff. So I seen that and I was like, this is something like I could see myself being a part of. And I was super young. Like I said, I was about to turn 16 in like a month. And my mom was with me, and she's like, "Well, how?" I asked, like, "How would you do something like this?" And like, you could become an associate because you're still really young at the time. You could get your motorcycle license at 16, and then that year I turned 16, they took it away. You had to be 18 to get a motorcycle license. You can get a permit, and to ride with them, you have to have a motorcycle license, and you have to have a motorcycle bigger than 650 cc's. So it's just the engine size. And so you can be an associate until you get your license all set up, and you know, then you become a member. There's no age requirements as long as you pay your dues and all that. So that's how I started. I started off as an associate. The first like 6 months, I was pretty not active just because they weren't kind of active. I think it was like there was problems going on with like people leaving, people coming, and so I remember my first 6 months I was not that active, and then that was in 2012. So I've been a member of that association since 2012. So this year will be 9 years.
What exactly do you guys like do? You guys just, I mean, I don't really.
So it's like not for profit. Like I said earlier, the like they mastered the art of motor touring. So we get personal awards and chapter awards for like miles put on the bike. And then like each chapter does its own little thing. Like they throw their own parties. Like we have anniversary parties, and then like our little way of giving back is every August we have a back to school like pens and pencil run it's called El Valor. It's in Little Village, just like underfunded like community. So they got like pencils and backpacks and books and notebooks and all that fun stuff. I mean, we tend to like the younger age, so like kindergarten to like fifth grade. We do that kind of drive, and then it's just like party, really, like have fun, just
Yeah.
riding bikes, going to dance parties.
Hmm.
Like I said, we have a national rally, and then there's an international rally, and people ride from every corner of the world at this point. And I think, from my recollection, because this year has been a garbage year, so I haven't been paying too much attention to like where our chapters are at. But like as of last year, like Nigeria was there's a chapter there now. The Philippines, Italy, Spain, um, France, all up and down North and South America. It's like Canadian chapters, Bolivia, Brazil, uh,
And what's the name of the club?
Latin American Motorcycle Association, LAMA.
Llama.
So I've been part of them for a super long time, and I
Hmm.
love it.
And Alex is a part now too, right?
Yeah, once we got kind of together with riding, she had kind of did it. So she got her endorsement, sort of motorcycle license, and she joined, and she's a member now too.
And you're like a higher tier than her, or whatever.
No, we're both full patch members. Oh no, actually no. She, with everything going on with her leg and everything, and just moving out of her parents' house and stuff like that, she dropped down associate. So she just wears like everything we wear in the front. She doesn't get a full set in the back. I wear a full set in the back. That's a full patch member. And then like I was an officer for a little bit too, but then once I got deeper into like paramedic school and all that. I had kind of given that up because the responsibility was just too much for the amount of time that I could put in. I just couldn't dedicate myself 100% to it.
You're blowing my mind right now. What is an officer?
So like, people of like position of power. So like, there's the president, vice president, business manager, treasurer, secretary, and now the motoring officer is an officer. And I was the business manager. So once I started paramedic school, I was like, I can no longer do this. I have to dedicate my time, all my efforts and time to paramedic school, which was a year-long program. So that's just considered an officer. Now I'm the row captain because, I do a lot of riding. So I'm pretty decent at planning out rides and stuff like that. So anything the road is all mine. So I make the routes, plan where we're going, where we're staying, like super simple things like or things you won't think of, like where we're gonna stop for gas. If that gas station closed, where's the closest? Potentially, where's like the closest hospital at? I have to keep in mind first, depending what we're doing, like stuff like that.
It's pretty legit thing. As long as you're not like the Sons of Anarchy and hurting people or whatever.
Non for profit.
I've never watched Sons of Anarchy. I don't even know what you're talking about. But, whenever I think of like a motorcycle association, I just think of like the big old scary dudes.
Well, yeah, if you see me and all like leathered up and geared up and stuff, you're like, oh, this guy is kind of scary. I had a friend, like we take place in the Puerto Rican parade every year up in Humboldt Park. I had brought a friend with, and she's like, you guys are totally scary looking, but you guys are super nice.
Like I've never seen you with your whole squad, but I've seen you all leathered out.
Yeah. So.
No shirt on with your vest.
I've
I've seen them.
Those super hot days.
Yeah, and I've seen you, full leathered out with your assless chaps on.
Yeah, that was the year-round riding. I'd wear the insulated jeans, the assless chaps, and then I'd have like 5 jackets on because I was riding in the snow when it was like 10 degrees outside.
More power to you. I don't like going outside at all, let alone riding around on a motorcycle.
Yeah, doing
pretty legit stuff. Well, did you get anything else written down on your paper? I was going to say page, but then
No, this is all just if I miss points or like I have the possum on the front, at the very, very top, because possums are the fucking devil.
Well, then they should be on the bottom. Well, all right. I am so glad that you got to be here today.
Yeah, I'm super happy that I got to experience the whole podcast thing. So this is definitely encouraging.
Yeah.
Happy to support you.
If you ever want to,
and our friendship.
If you ever want to like check it out, I'm available weekends and stuff. Just give me a holler. If you ever want to just come dick around for a little bit, let me know.
For sure.
Is there anything that you'd like to promote and or talk about at the end here?
No. I got
That's
nothing
fine.
going on in my life.
That's fine. Lousers is now on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, just type in Lousers, a friendship podcast, and all the videos will show up with just the picture of me and said guest as the thumbnails. And then you click on it and it's just a picture with the audio. I'm not inventing the wheel here. So just check it out. Please go give it a subscribe or whatever. I don't know what it does, but I think it's nice to know that people are listening and watching and supporting. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Good night.